What's going on, y'all? It's my first live. I go by the name of Viracocha Mendoza, and I'm a rapper, I'm a producer, and a lover of hip hop and jazz. And for years, my friends have been trying to get me to like do commentary on hip hop, like what's coming out, what's happening, because they always get my thoughts on things. But I always said I'm just gonna leave it alone because I'm a producer and a rapper myself. Why would I ever make a commentary on somebody else's work? Even though I have opinions, I never wanted to because I just think it's in some respect counterproductive because like music is subjective and everybody's entitled to their opinion, but the producer in me and the artist in me sometimes is really tempted to speak on things. And today I'm gonna speak on something because I'm just like something has happened that I never thought would happen. And if you know me, then you probably know what I'm gonna talk about. So I'll just jump into it. So, y'all's man, J. Cole, as my friends know and my musical colleagues know, I've had many conversations about this. I don't care for J. Cole's music. And I'll dive into this further in this video for sure. With that sparking the reason why I'm doing this live today. Personally, I don't have anything against most of what J. Cole has presented to the world as a person, as an activist. I think he is very plainly spoken, not only as a man but as a musician. And that's why I don't care for his music. Is he's just very plainly spoken, as a lyricist, as a writer. As far as being a producer, I mean he's derivative. To me, anyway, there's nothing that I've distinctly heard. There's nothing that I've heard from him that I could say is distinctly J. Cole, because my palate's eclectic, and I mean, I'm a producer and a rapper too, so I'm a fan of this culture. I'm a fan of certain people that I know he's a fan of because I can hear it, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, what I'm gonna get into on this live is, of course, his new record, "Snow on the Bluff," and I'm gonna get into, what he said, and I mean his music and catalog as well. So anyway, yeah, a couple days ago, at this point, I believe I really don't even know. I literally just listened to this song today because I'm not a J. Cole fan. I don't desire to when he drops stuff, I'm not going to listen to what he has, because it's just I feel like it's the same every time. But aside from that, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm coming from a bitter place. I'm just coming from a familiar place that like it's too familiar for me. But anyway, this new song. Firstly, like the first thing that I can think of is he's doing another diss record. And I mean, like, again, I'll mention conversations that I've seen people have and conversations that I have had. And I did see people mentioning that it could have been a diss. And I was just thinking, without listening to the song beforehand, like, how could something maybe be a diss? Is it a diss or is it not? So essentially, after listening to the song, I'm like, yeah, like, he does kind of reference someone and speak to someone directly, Well, not he speaks of someone directly, like just one person, and and through further research, I've come to realize it's No Name, formerly No Name Gypsy, out of Chicago, that he's speaking about. And essentially, like, to me, the lyrics are a rundown of his thoughts, but his current writing style, which again I don't care for, like since like the A Lot single and his Dreamville compilation album, like his writing style, fuck J. Cole, Lil Pump. Anyway, his writing style has been, shout out OG the dude. His writing style has been very like narrative in the raps. Like he's saying either what he's thinking or what he's doing, which I think is very weird. Like he's like on A Lot. He literally told the story of like he's like I went to Atlanta. I drove to Atlanta hours and hours and met up with 21, and he showed me this beat. He said I got this song, it's called A Lot, and I get out my pen and I jot. Like, bro, what are you doing, bro? Like, why? I don't care how it happened. If you were gonna tell this story, like you could tell this story like in an interview or something later, because that's subsequential. Like that's part of releasing music. People are gonna ask you. That people get curious. That's cool, but to throw it in the verse is just very strange. And I mean, that's a testament to me as to how plainly spoken he is. But not only plainly spoken, but just how his brain kind of works. He's just very like he's a simpleton, bro. Like I don't understand. I don't have a better way to really say it. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy because a lot of people hold him in such high regard, and he's just, like a great to so many. And I don't understand, like, why. Why is he a GOAT? I really don't get it. Other than like I said, compositionally, he's never necessarily been bad to me. He's just derivative. Like I get a lot of Kanye from J. Cole's production, who is one of the great producers of all time. Rapping aside, he's one of the greatest producers, one of the most innovative producers we've ever had. And, I personally have taken many notes from his style. J. Cole as well. And I enjoy J. Cole's production. I enjoy, when he doesn't produce, I enjoy what he selects. So my issue's not there. My issue is just genuinely how he chooses to speak on things and how he does, how he writes. It's just very lazy, very one-dimensional, very like not self-aware, just not self-indulgent. It's just of the self. Without consider, not even that you should consider, what people would think, but he just doesn't. I mean, he really is a man that's like, let me get my thoughts out. I don't care who likes it or doesn't. And that may be admirable to you. You may think that's cool. That's being real, but no, it's not. An adult, I don't think should act that way. I think an adult should take into consideration how things are phrased, the discussion that they've chosen to lead, that there's going to be ears on this piece forever because you sold it, because it was created and you put it out there for people to consume. So you can't be so cavalier with your approach, especially when you're talking about things, events, and people that are integral to our society, integral to our hip hop culture, and just, I mean, overall important in history and the history that we're making now. But to get back to the song itself, yeah, I took it as a clear enough, not so I get, yeah, okay, I can see where people are like, maybe it's a diss. So it is directly like aimed towards No Name and his feelings about her and her opinions. But really, as a writer, I got a lot of J. Cole. Like, he starts out saying, I'm supposed to be the guy that's deep, but I understand that this person is more well, they're well read. She studies, she philosophize, she dwells on subject matter and her opinions and the opinions of others. I feel like writing wise, he kind of he had good intentions. He started with the fact that he's kind of bothered that, and I think it does bother him, that he's held in such high regards. He's, this lyrical prophet in hip hop. He's one of the greatest of this generation, and yet he knows that he's not. And he knows that there's other people who are more deserving of that are not getting acclaim. And I mean, that's society. And that's the nature of humans, is that we don't necessarily know what's best for us. And even if someone told us what was best for us, we're going to be like, but I like this better. I like them better. I like you, whatever the case may be. That's how we are. So I, as an artist, I never knock people for, thinking that way, because people do. But he's told us now that it bothers him. And I mean, he's not looking for a pity party or anything. I really think he's just kind of the voice of the people that are like, yeah, like, and that's the metaphor that I can think of, is that he's that guy that you hang out with that is aware of what's going, like, he knows things are happening. Like, did you know that, Breonna Taylor was murdered in her home while she was asleep? Did you know that her boyfriend was arrested for, pulling out his weapon in self-defense in a state in which he could do so, and was still arrested? And, events like this, I feel like, yeah, J. Cole and most of his demographic are people that would know matters like this, but then kind of leave them there. And rather than, and I'll use this term, bothering themselves with the details and the severity of the situation and situations that we're dealing with, kind of write it off as like, because people are going to see like, oh, well, you're the conscious guy, you're in the loop, you're aware. It's one thing to like be aware of something, but it's another thing to be someone that's genuinely active in wanting to learn more, and then wanting to share the new knowledge that you've found. Which I don't know if J. Cole tries to do that, because his music doesn't say that. It never has to me. J. Cole usually writes very much from a victim kind of standpoint. This song is telling of that. The song that, and I haven't, again, because I just listened to this song today, but the song that came to my mind when this one dropped for some weird reason is the one where the refrain is like, cop another bag and smoke today, and he just repeats that as a chorus. Like, his songwriting is often from the perspective of someone going through those mental processes, rather than I acknowledge what my mental, where I am mentally on these subjects. Now, here's what I want to do to better myself, to better my surroundings, to better the people around me. That's how, I feel he writes. He just kind of like this song, even though I feel like he was going to, he wanted, and again, and that's not enough to want to do it. You have to do it. But he wanted to, speak on, hey, I feel as though there are other artists that are more well read than me. And I aspire to be as knowledgeable as they are, to make the moves that they make. But instead, we got a whiny song, a woe is me, because you're using big words, because you are reading up. Give me time. Let me, just catch up. Now, I understand that people do think at different levels. And I was just having this discussion with my brother and one of my label signees, Al Deluge, in regards to the systematic oppression of black people, that, and he is a white man. I was trying to explain to him that there are a lot of areas with a lot of people that just don't have the societal etiquette, that never had the opportunity to speak white, or to learn to speak white, or to understand when they're whistleblowing, to understand their just their tendencies, their actions, their subliminal messages, their habits, and then also a lot of these areas will be underfunded, textbooks 10, 15 years late, not accurate information, not thorough enough information. Because you think about it, if you're in an impoverished part of a large city and the budget's going to these big ass private schools in this large city, and you're on the fucking east side, south side, whatever, and your school could give a damn about your education, and they're out here buying bullshit textbooks with surface level thought. And then also they're not, the teachers don't have energy, or they're hiring teachers that they know won't genuinely tell a compelling enough argument for you to understand history that has happened. You're going to have a lot of people that quote unquote think slow, or quote unquote just can't understand. I believe in the power of humans. I believe in the power of black people, black minds. I do. And what I'm saying is that if you feel as though I'm attacking you, or you feel as though I'm trying to call you stupid, never. Okay? I genuinely feel as though there have been a lot of people that have made it a point to make sure that you have remained ignorant, that you have remained with insufficient information, that you've been oppressed. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, but I wasn't raised in KC. I was raised in a town 2 hours and 20 minutes away called Moberly, predominantly white town. I went through their school system, but still know myself. But what I can tell you is that, yeah, there's a lot, and I had black teachers. I was gonna go to school to be a social studies teacher because I wanted to go back into an environment where I could genuinely tell the real stories, real history. I had a black man who was my history teacher 2 years out of 4 in my high school. Very thorough explanations. And I remember my freshman year, I had a white man, and he was so fucking base level knowledge. I even remember like one time I pointed out something and he was like, "Damn, I'm glad you know that. That's crazy. Like that's good. Like I didn't know that," which is wild because that's exactly the type of educators that impoverished and systematically oppressed areas get. They get educators that can read a book. Bitch, I can read a book. You know what I'm saying? Like they get somebody that can generally just read a fucking book. No expansion on the ideas, no discussion past that, that it is what it is. And I don't know if J. Cole was raised in an environment in which he could have, that he had ideas expanded and more conversations and very thorough history lessons. I don't know. But I do know that me coming from a place where I was privileged enough to have experienced white school and really had educators that cared enough to expand on lessons and encourage more learning. It does sound as though that is the area which he came from. So I don't want to fault another man or a black man because he's not understanding concepts. But again, just to get back to the song, I don't want him to make a whiny song and say, I can't follow. I don't. Look, bruh, as children, I have a child, and I would want, and I will ensure that she is in all types of environments to understand that that you need to think for yourself and you need to go further and you need to push yourself because you will have moments, you will be in environments that encourage you to do so, encourage you to go further. But you will have many environments that don't want you to. And I don't know if we let this man stay, for the most part ignorant and not, not be able to look at things objectively. This last train of thoughts made me think of one tweet that I had seen this week that said, we as black men really got to just let black women speak. And this song was not that. This video is not that, but hopefully what I'm doing is a call to some to genuinely let the hurt speak. Let them speak. Because I myself am not a black woman. I have many in my family. It's time to give them the respect. It's time to give them our ears. It's time to give them the platform. We can't butt in anymore. Not right now. Not right now. I don't even know. We can't butt in on their conversations anymore. but I needed to take this moment to speak on, again, one of the most revered writers of this generation of, of hip hop artists, and say, hey, look, bro, where your heart lies may be so beautiful, but what you're pinning down is not. It's not progressive. It's not like it's not that it's not good. It's that it's not progressive. It's that it's not expanding on ideas, calling for more knowledge to be obtained. It's not giving them their platform. I feel like a lot of his demographic. I mean, I just can recall throughout high school and college a lot of young ladies, uh, and women in my family that are my age, that are J. Cole fans, that have been through heartache, that have been through abuse, negligence, and I know that they find comfort in him kind of relaying stories in a way. But I also feel like this kind of portrait has been painted by J. Cole of like a good girl and a bad girl. I mean, I feel as though that narrative has been written by his hand. And I've never appreciated that. I've never appreciated that. Um, I don't I don't want us, and as black people, we don't need us to be pitted against one another. Um, we need to listen. We need to take notes and we need to move forward. But we're not even we're not done with step one. We need to listen. So I'm going to conclude this. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, I go by the name of Viracocha Mendoza. Just take the time to reflect with yourself and ask yourself, where do you stand after this video? What do I support? What do I believe in? Which kind of person am I? Have I endorsed these ideas, again, of a good woman or a bad woman? Or am I listening to women at all? Am I letting them be heard? So thank you all.